Welcome to our deep dive into bee pollen. We'll be taking a look at beepollen.pdf. So, you're interested in this superfood, huh? I have to admit, I'm pretty curious too. I've heard some pretty amazing things.
Well, first of all, it's not just pollen. It's more like a mix. Honeybees make it themselves. From pollen and nectar, they even add enzymes, honey and wax, and even some of their own secretions. It's all collected from flower stamens. Basically, it's their own version of a superfood.
So not just pollen, more like a bee-made concoction. I've even heard it called life-giving dust, which is, well,
Yeah.
a pretty bold claim.
Well, that term goes way back. Ancient civilizations, the Egyptians, Greeks, they really saw the potential. And you know what? They were onto something. One of the most amazing things about bee pollen is that it's a complete protein.
Complete protein, what does that even mean?
Well, it means it has all 9 essential amino acids, the ones your body needs, but can't make itself. Lysine for growth, leucine for muscle repair, and a whole bunch more.
Wow, so it's like a tiny little protein powerhouse made by bees. That's pretty wild. But I guess what I'm wondering is it just good for muscles?
Oh, no, not at all. Bee pollen is also full of vitamins and minerals that are good for your whole body, like, for instance, B vitamins, B1, which is important for your nerves, and B12, which helps your body make DNA.
DNA. That's pretty intense. What else is in this stuff?
Let's see, you've got zinc and selenium. They're a powerful duo for your immune system. And then there's magnesium. Magnesium does it all. Muscle cramps, sleep, even blood sugar. It's almost like a natural multivitamin.
So we've got protein, vitamins, minerals. It's almost too good to be true. Is there anything else?
Well, we've only scratched the surface. Bee pollen also has what we call bioactive compounds. And that's where things get really interesting. They're like nature's secret weapons. They have these targeted health benefits that go way beyond just basic nutrition.
Okay, targeted health benefits. Now you've got my attention. What are we talking about here?
Well, for starters, bee pollen is full of antioxidants, flavonoids, polyphenols, carotenoids. They're known for fighting inflammation. And even cancer.
It's like little warriors fighting damage in my body.
Exactly. Protecting your cells from free radicals, which can cause all sorts of problems. But that's not all. Bee pollen also has enzymes, amylase, diastase, lipase. They help break down carbs, proteins, and fats.
So it helps with digestion, too.
It can. And it even has phytosterols, which can lower cholesterol. And get this, it has nucleic acids, the building blocks of DNA and RNA, essential for cell growth and repair.
It's a tiny repair crew for my cells. I'm starting to see why people rave about this stuff.
Yeah.
But with all these potential benefits, how do I actually feel the difference? What will it do for me in my everyday life?
One area where people notice a real change is with allergies.
Allergies? You mean like my seasonal sniffles and stuff?
Yes, potentially. Bee pollen has bioflavonoids, which act like natural antihistamines, desensitizing your immune system over time, so less sneezing, itching, watery eyes.
That would be a game changer. I'm definitely interested to hear more about that. What other benefits should we explore?
Another area where bee pollen shines is liver protection. It's been shown to have what we call a hepatoprotective effect.
Hepatoprotective. That sounds pretty technical.
Basically, it means bee pollen helps protect your liver from damage, like from toxins, alcohol, even some medications.
So it helps keep my liver healthy.
It does. And it's not just about protection. Bee pollen can even help regenerate liver tissue if there's been damage.
Okay, now that's impressive. What about brain benefits? Could my brain use some help too?
Absolutely. Studies show bee pollen can improve memory and focus, probably because of its antioxidants and B vitamins, and it may even reduce oxidative stress in the brain, which is a major factor in age-related decline.
So it's like a brain booster too.
You could say that. Many people report feeling more energetic and mentally clear after taking bee pollen.
That makes sense. With all those B vitamins and carbs we talked about, it's like a natural energy drink, but without the jitters. Okay, I'm sold. But how do I actually add bee pollen to my life?
Well, you can actually eat bee pollen granules, straight up.
Straight up. What does it taste like?
It has a kind of bitter, floral taste. Some people like it. But you can also mix it into things like smoothies or sprinkle it on yogurt, cereal, salads.
So I can get creative with it.
Exactly. And if the taste or texture isn't for you, you can also get bee pollen capsules.
Good to know. But before I start adding bee pollen to everything, are there any precautions I should be aware of?
Yes, it's important to start slowly. See how your body reacts. Bee pollen is potent, and while it's generally safe, it's best to listen to your body.
So no scooping it by the spoonful right away.
Exactly. Start small, maybe a quarter teaspoon per day, and see how you feel. Then you can gradually increase it.
And are there any side effects?
The most common one is digestive discomfort, especially at first, or if you take too much.
Like bloating, gas, cramps.
Exactly. It usually goes away as your body adjusts, but if it doesn't, reduce the dose or stop taking it.
And anyone with allergies to pollen or bee stings should avoid bee pollen altogether, right?
Absolutely. That's really important. And it's always best to talk to your doctor before taking bee pollen, especially if you're pregnant, breastfeeding, or taking any medications, particularly blood thinners.
Because it can interact with medications.
Right. Bee pollen has vitamin K, for instance, which can interfere with blood thinners. So always be cautious and talk to your doctor.
Great advice. We've learned that bee pollen is this nutritional powerhouse with a fascinating history and all sorts of potential benefits.
It is.
But before we wrap up, what about bee pollen do you find most fascinating?
You know, what I find most intriguing is the research being done on bee pollen's potential for managing long-term conditions. We touched on the liver and brain. But scientists are also looking at its role in cardiovascular health, immune function, even cancer prevention.
Wow, that's incredible, it sounds like. We've only just scratched the surface of what bee pollen might be capable of.
I think so. It's a complex substance with so many active compounds. Researchers are still working to understand its full potential.
Well, that definitely gives us a lot to think about. But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's dive deeper into some specific benefits, the ones our listeners might find most relevant.
Let's start with bee pollen's anti-allergy power. We touched on it briefly, but it deserves a deeper dive, especially for anyone who dreads allergy season.
Absolutely. Let's unpack that next.
It's not just about masking symptoms. Bee pollen can actually get to the root cause by changing how your immune system reacts.
Oh, wow. So it's not like those over-the-counter allergy meds.
Yeah.
Just blocking histamines. It actually helps my body become less sensitive to allergens.
Exactly. And there's actual research to back this up. Studies show bee pollen can really help reduce how bad allergy symptoms are and how often they happen. Like, that stuffy nose, the sneezing, the itchy eye.
That's amazing, especially for people who take antihistamines all the time. It sounds like bee pollen could be a more natural way to handle allergies.
Let's see. Our source, beepollen.pdf. It mentions that bee pollen has antifungal properties. What does that even mean?
So basically, it means bee pollen can help fight fungal infections, both inside and outside the body, like athlete's foot, candida overgrowth, even ringworm.
Wow, so you can even use it topically.
Yeah, exactly. You can put it right on the affected area, or you can eat it to fight internal fungal issues. It basically stops those fungal cells from growing by messing with their membranes.
That's fascinating. And I'm also seeing here that it mentions antibiotic and antimicrobial effects. So it can fight bacterial infections too. Could it be a natural alternative to antibiotics?
Well, there's definitely research that suggests that. The document talks about how bee pollen can be effective against some pretty nasty bacteria like E. coli and Salmonella. It has compounds that can stop bacteria from growing, so it could be a natural defense against infections. That's pretty incredible, especially now with antibiotic resistance being such a big problem. Natural alternatives like bee pollen could be a huge step in the right direction. So let's see, pollen.pdf also talks about anti-inflammatory properties.
Right, and that makes sense. Given how many antioxidants are in bee pollen, the flavonoids like quercetin and camphorol, they're powerful anti-inflammatory agents. They basically work by stopping the production of these pro-inflammatory enzymes and cytokines.
Cytokines. Those sound a bit scary.
Well, think of cytokines as the messengers of inflammation. They tell your immune system to kick into gear. And while some inflammation is good, too much of it can lead to all kinds of health issues.
So bee pollen helps calm that inflammation down.
Exactly. And that's important because so many conditions are linked to chronic inflammation.
Yeah, that's a good point. So it could be helpful for things like arthritis, inflammatory bowel disease, muscle soreness, even swelling after surgery.
Yep.
It seems like bee pollen has a positive effect on almost every part of the body. Speaking of which, we were talking earlier about its benefits for the liver. Can we delve a little deeper into that? What exactly makes bee pollen so good for liver health?
Well, we already mentioned that bee pollen is packed with antioxidants, and they're essential for neutralizing toxins, protecting cells from damage. And the liver, as the main detox organ, is constantly working to filter out those harmful substances.
So it's like a shield for the liver, helping it work better.
That's a great way to put it. Bee pollen also boosts the production of glutathione, your body's master antioxidant,
Yeah.
which helps the liver detox even more effectively.
So it's not just protecting the liver, it's actually making it stronger. Does bee pollen support any other bodily processes?
Definitely. Bee pollen is also involved in detoxification.
Detoxification, that's a buzzword we hear all the time. But what does it actually mean when we're talking about bee pollen?
Basically, it's the process of removing harmful substances from your body. Environmental pollutants, processed foods, stress hormones. Those toxins can build up over time and put stress on your organs, affecting your overall health.
So it's all about getting rid of those toxins, keeping things running smoothly. But how does bee pollen help with that?
Well, bee pollen provides fiber, which binds to toxins in your gut and helps get rid of them. Its antioxidants neutralize free radicals, which are often produced when your body breaks down toxins. And bee pollen also supports your liver and kidneys, the organs that filter and eliminate waste.
It's like a cleansing agent, helping your body's natural detoxification processes.
That's a great way to think about it, and this is especially important nowadays with so many environmental toxins around us. But that's not all bee pollen does. It's also known for its wound and burn healing properties.
Why? How did that work?
Bee pollen can stimulate collagen production, which is essential for tissue repair. It also has antimicrobial and anti-inflammatory properties, which help prevent infection and reduce swelling.
Wow, it's like a natural first aid kit packed into these tiny granules. It seems like bee pollen has a positive effect on just about every system in the body.
It does. It's a real testament to the power of nature to provide such a comprehensive source of nourishment.
So let's talk about energy levels. We briefly mentioned the carbs in bee pollen earlier, but bee pollen.pdf emphasizes its ability to provide a long-lasting energy boost.
Yes, it has this unique mix of nutrients that work together to keep your energy up all day. You get a quick boost from the carbs, and then the protein and B vitamins kick in for sustained energy release.
So like a multi-stage energy booster.
Exactly. And some amino acids, like tyrosine, can help fight fatigue and improve mental alertness.
That's great news for people who hit that afternoon slump. It sounds like a much healthier option than sugary energy drinks or too much caffeine.
Absolutely. And it's not just physical energy. Bee pollen also supports how your brain works, helping with mental clarity and focus.
Right, we talked about its brain health benefits earlier. But it's worth highlighting how this impacts daily life, like students studying for exams or people with demanding jobs.
Definitely. Bee pollen helps your brain function at its best, keeping you sharp and focused. And in the long run, it can even help protect your brain health and prevent cognitive decline.
Wow, it's amazing how something so small can have such a huge impact on our minds and bodies.
It really is. It shows how intricate and powerful nature is and how it provides for our well-being.
We've covered a lot of ground today, from what bee pollen is and where it comes from to all its incredible benefits. But I'd like to shift gears now and talk about some practical ways people can actually use bee pollen. Beepollen.pdf highlights a bunch of different applications, from diet to topical uses.
Okay, sounds good.
So let's start with the basics. How do we actually consume this stuff?
Let's get into that. So there are a few ways. Like I was saying, you can eat the granules straight up. They have a slightly bitter, floral taste.
I can imagine it's something you get used to.
Yeah, it can be. But if that's not your thing, you can mix bee pollen into other things. Smoothies, yogurt, cereal, even salads.
So many options. It sounds like you can get creative in the kitchen.
Absolutely. And one thing to remember, it's best to chew the granules really well to help with digestion and absorption.
Makes sense. Breaking down those outer shells to release all the good stuff.
Exactly. And if you're not keen on the texture or the taste, you can always try bee pollen capsules.
That's a good option, especially for people on the go. So we've talked about eating it. What about topical applications? How can bee pollen benefit my skin?
Well, bee pollen is a popular ingredient in natural skincare. And for good reason. It's full of antioxidants, vitamins, and other nutrients that are really good for your skin.
So it's like a natural beauty boost.
Exactly. You can find it in face masks, creams, serums, even soaps. You can even make your own DIY bee pollen treatments.
DIY beauty treatments. I love it.
One popular one is a bee pollen face mask. You just mix bee pollen powder with honey or yogurt or aloe vera gel. Apply it to your face, leave it on for 15-20 minutes, and rinse.
Sounds easy enough. And knowing what's in bee pollen, it makes sense that it would be great for the skin.
It is. It can soothe irritated skin, reduce redness, and help with healing. It's even been used to treat acne, eczema, and sunburns.
It's amazing how versatile bee pollen is. It seems like there's nothing it can't do. But before we go any further, we should probably touch on precautions. Our source, beepollen.pdf, stresses the importance of starting slowly with bee pollen.
Right, that's really important. Bee pollen is powerful, and even though it's generally safe, you need to listen to your body.
So don't overdo it at first.
Exactly. Start with a small amount, maybe a quarter teaspoon a day, and see how you feel. You can always increase it gradually.
And what about side effects? Anything people should watch out for?
Well, the most common one is digestive discomfort, especially when you first start taking it, or if you take too much.
Things like bloating, gas, cramps.
Yeah, things like that usually goes away as your body gets used to it. But if it doesn't, you should probably cut back or stop taking it altogether.
And of course, people with pollen or bee sting allergies should definitely avoid bee
Oh,
pollen.
absolutely. That's crucial. And it's always a good idea to talk to your doctor before taking bee pollen, especially if you're pregnant, breastfeeding, or taking any medications, especially blood thinners.
Because bee pollen can interact with certain medications.
Yeah, it can. For example, bee pollen has vitamin K, which can interfere with blood thinners, so it's best to be safe and talk to your doctor.
Always good advice. It's also important to make sure you're getting high-quality bee pollen.
You're absolutely right. Not all bee pollen is the same. Quality can vary depending on the source. Processing methods, storage.
So how can people make sure they're getting the good stuff?
Look for organic, pesticide-free bee pollen that's been lab tested. And make sure it's from a reputable supplier, someone who really cares about quality.
And certifications like USDA Organic can help too, right?
Definitely. Those certifications mean the bee pollen has been produced according to strict standards, so you know it's pure and potent.
So do your research, read labels carefully, and choose your bee pollen wisely.
It's worth it. It's an investment in your health.
Well said. So I think we've covered it all. Everything about bee pollen, from its fascinating history and what's in it, to its many potential benefits, and even some practical tips for adding it to your life.
It's been a really interesting journey, unpacking the science and secrets of this ancient remedy.
I hope our listeners feel like they can now explore the world of bee pollen with the knowledge to decide if it's right for them.
I hope so too. It's a valuable addition to any health-conscious lifestyle, a natural, holistic way to support your well-being.
And as always, we encourage you to do your own research, talk to your healthcare providers, and make choices that work for you.
Knowledge is power. The more we understand about the natural world, the better we can take care of ourselves.
So true. We'll leave you with this thought. Bee pollen is a nutritional powerhouse with incredible benefits for your body and mind. Could this ancient remedy hold even more secrets? Could it help us face modern health challenges in new ways? That's something for you to ponder as you continue to explore the fascinating world of bee pollen. Until next time, happy exploring.